Today we're in Mexico for the first time on the channel to ride and review the brand new Tren Maya network, which will eventually link all the major population centres and tourist attractions in and around the Yucatan Peninsula in eastern Mexico. So let's go and check it out together. Welcome to Palenque in the Mexican state of Chiapas. This city of 132,000 people is most well known for the nearby 2,200-year-old Mayan city, which is now an archaeological site and the largest tourist attraction in the area, drawing around 1 million visitors per year. This is possibly an unpopular opinion, but I enjoyed visiting Palenque much more than Chichen Itza, one of the 7 wonders of the world, which I also went to on this trip. Palenque was much quieter, the entry fee was 90% less, and there was more to see at the site. If you don't speak English, be sure to turn on the subtitles below, as they're translated into 140 languages. Anyway, enough history for today, let's head to the station to get this journey started. The Tren Maya station is on the site of a former airport and is located around 5 kilometers north of the city centre, but this takes less than 10 minutes in a taxi and costs around $3. The driver was on the phone, by the way, and not talking to me. Much of Palenque station is still very much under construction, but it has been operational since January 2024. This is very much the theme of today's trip, by the way. Still, the infrastructure is impressive and will be even more so when fully complete, and it is for sure a great addition to the local and regional transport links, which before now relied almost entirely on buses. Okay, let's head inside and check it out. I love the architecture of the station building with its very modern and stylish design. Upon entry, a staff member will check your ticket and ID and issue you with a boarding pass. This dramatically speeds up the boarding process as no more checks are required to board, you just hand this pass in. There is a large waiting area in between this atrium and the platforms. Toilets can be found off to the left side here. There are lifts down to the car park area, both of these are not yet in use though. There is also a staff ticket office, but I'd advise you to buy online as the tickets can and do sell out. I took a seat to await boarding to start and a man started giving a speech. This went on for about 20 minutes.
Buenos días, última oportunidad. Buenos días. Soy el Mayor Navarro, jefe de la terminal de Palenque del Tren Maya.
This video is sponsored by Level 8, Luggage of the Year for 2024. Ever since I got my first Level 8 case over 2 years ago, I wouldn't travel without one. Currently I'm using the stylish 20-inch Gibraltar carry-on, which is made from aerospace grade magnesium alloy. It features ultra-quiet 360-degree durable spinner wheels for effortless movement and heavy-duty dual TSA approved locks. There is also a lifetime warranty for absolute peace of mind on endless adventures. Level 8 are offering my viewers a special discount of 10% off every order. Just click the link in the description below and use code NONSTOP10 today. Finally, after listing every Mexican state and establishing where every passenger was from, boarding is called. As mentioned, all I need to do is hand in my boarding pass, no further ticket or ID checks are made. Today's train is an Alstom Extrapolis diesel multiple unit. These 4-car sets have a design speed of 180 km per hour, a maximum speed of 160 km per hour, but only run in service at up to 140 km per hour at the moment. There will eventually be 42 train sets in total, with 10 being diesel only like ours, and the other 32 being bi-mode diesel electric. Stay tuned for more information on Tren Maya's expansion plans later in the video. I really love the green and white livery, which incorporates the Mayan patterns within. It really suits the train and is very smart. All stations on the line have level boarding, with just a small gap to cross from platform to train. A ramp is available if required. We'll be travelling in Premier Class today, the higher of the two classes of travel, which is laid out in a 2+1 configuration with all seats, except the last row, rotating to face the direction of travel. My seat for today is Coach 1 number 48, a window seat on the solo side of the coach. Luggage can be stored behind the last row of seats, on the large overhead racks, or on luggage stacks located in the vestibules. On today's trip, I will travel from Palenque to Mérida on around 2/3 of the network that's currently open. I will then continue on to Cancun via Chichen Itza and Valladolid. By June 2025, the full network should be open, which will see it complete a large loop around the Yucatan Peninsula, as seen here on this map. We depart right on time at 9 AM. This 560km journey from Palenque to Mérida is scheduled to take 7 hours and 1 minute of travel time today. There are 2 services per day, with the other departing at 12:20 PM. They both continue all the way to Cancun. Pricing is different for Mexicans, locals living along the line, and foreigners, with the latter having a 50% markup. However, all of the following prices are far too expensive in my opinion, as I was under the impression that Tren Maya was aimed at environmentally friendly travel for both locals and tourists moving between eastern Mexico's tourist attractions and popular cities. Premier class for a foreigner costs 2,957 pesos, while for a Mexican it's 2,217 pesos. Locals who live along the route get a small additional discount. These fares include a meal and or snack along with drinks depending on the distance you are travelling. Discounted fares are available for children, students and pensioners. Check the link in the description below for information on this. Tourista class costs 1,848 pesos for a foreigner, while for a Mexican it's 1,389 pesos. The Tren Maya tracks are fully fenced off to keep animals out and also grade separated with no level crossings either for vehicles or pedestrians along the whole route. This was a great decision to implement from the outset, showing that safety is a high priority and running speeds can be increased in the future with little additional works. Here we can see some of the line-side fencing, tunnels and, albeit incomplete, footbridges. If you want ad-free early access to every video, great perks and to help me do bigger and better reviews, then become a channel member from just £1.99 per month. Just click the link above now, or the join button in every video. Thank you! Around 30 minutes after departure, tickets are checked and the orders taken for the complimentary food and drink service which will be served later. In the meantime, let's have a look at the seating area. Premier class is in a 2+1 layout and the seats have a good amount of padding and slight ergonomic shape to them. There are winged headrests and adjustable padded armrests. They can also be reclined a small amount using this lever under the seat's base. A North American style power socket and 2 USB-A ports can be found down to one side. Legroom is pretty average, but there is an adjustable footrest down below. A seat back pocket, a large and sturdy tray table and coat hooks are located on the back of the seat in front. There are no personal reading lights, window blinds or Wi-Fi available. Here's a look at the seats in the reclined versus non-reclined positions. The air conditioning in here is also excellent. Overall, it's certainly not a bad first class product, but it's far from class leading, and in my opinion not comfortable enough for the 10-hour plus journeys that these trains make. While not super spectacular, the train window views certainly aren't bad, with both mountain and river vistas frequently being seen along the tracks. The whole line is built to international standard gauge of 1435mm, with concrete sleepers and continuously welded rails to give better durability and ride quality. However, much of the route is single track at the moment with strategic passing loops, but space has been left to allow double tracking in the future should the demand arise. The maximum operational speed is currently 140 km per hour, however the lines have been built to 200 km per hour specifications, again to future-proof the network. Here we can see the line from Bacalar and Chetumal converging from the right. This completes the southern and eastern loop of the Tren Maya route and will be the final section to open. Again, you can see much of the incomplete infrastructure. I'm glad they have opened it in stages though and got the trains running, even if everything is not quite finished yet. We are now on the approach to Escárcega, which is a small city of 30,000 people. It is named after Francisco Escárcega, who planned and oversaw much of the original early 20th century railway construction in this part of Mexico. It is therefore very fitting that this strategic location bears his name and hopefully sees the local area grow as it becomes a much more integral part of this new network. One other point to note is that all the train and station staff I encountered were very friendly and genuinely happy and interested that I was filming their new trains. They are certainly very proud of it. Let's now take a look at Turista, or second class on Tren Maya. This is laid out in a 2+2 configuration, mostly in airline style, but with some bays of 4. The seats here are fixed and do not rotate to face the direction of travel. Honestly, with this exception, they are very similar to Premier Class, just a bit narrower. Everything else, including all amenities and legroom, seems the same. There is one accessible toilet available towards the centre of the train, with 2 wheelchair spaces located right next to this. There is a small cafe counter which sells a variety of hot, cold and alcoholic drinks, as well as sweets, small snacks and light meals such as sandwiches, tamales and pizza. The prices are fairly reasonable. My Premier Class ticket includes complimentary drinks, a snack and a meal which is served to your seat by the friendly attendant. What you will get is based on the distance you will travel, so I received the top offering. Firstly, I went for a melon pot with a coffee. This was followed by a vegetarian pizza and a Sprite. It's obviously not fine dining, but it was a nice complimentary offering to distinguish Premier from Turista Class. At the rear of our coach is one toilet which is reserved for Premier Class passengers only. This was all working well, fully stocked up and on the whole very clean throughout the full journey. After I'd finished my meal, the attendant offered me a cold beer, which was gladly received. We are now on the approach to Campeche Station, which serves the city of San Francisco de Campeche, which is the state capital and home to 250,000 people. I'd have loved to make a stop in this 500-year-old colonial city, as it looks like a really interesting and beautiful place, but unfortunately I didn't have time on this trip. Oh well, I'll just have to come back soon. Tren Maya will also be introducing different train interiors as the full network becomes operational over the next year. These will include a specific long-distance model with ensuite sleeper rooms and also restaurant trains serving full meals with table service. Information is fairly limited on pricing and dates at this moment, but they look very interesting. As we enter the state of Yucatan, the network will also be electrified here on its core east-west route between Mérida and Cancun, with 7-car bi-mode electric diesel multiple units. The electrification will also continue down the east coast as far as Chetumal, making the total just under 50% of the network and really emphasizing the environmentally friendly credentials of Tren Maya. Here are some shots I took a few days later of the ongoing electrification works, along with the sights of Chichen Itza and Cancun, the highlights along this section of the route. As we are now approaching the end of today's journey, let me give you my summary on the Tren Maya experience in Premier Class from Palenque to Mérida. Overall, it's a great addition to the transport network in eastern Mexico and the country in general. It will also eventually connect to the Tren Interoceanico route a bit further west in the country. I did enjoy the journey, the landscapes, and the onboard food service and staff were both very good. That being said, the interior of the trains is certainly not as comfortable as it could or indeed should have been for 10+ hour journeys. It's not bad per se, but it certainly could have been a lot better with a higher quality of seat. I'll be very interested to try both the sleeper and restaurant train versions once they're released. It's also very overpriced for what it is, more expensive than some first-class Western European trains of similar distance, especially for Mexicans, so I think they should try and look at that if they want to expand services and fill every train. We arrive at Mérida exactly on time at 4:01 PM. The station is located in the Tella district of the city, 12 kilometers to the east of the centre, so you need to take a bus or taxi there, which takes around 25 to 35 minutes depending on traffic. Off our train goes on the rest of its journey to Cancun. Thanks for the ride, little guy. Have you been on any trains in this part of the world before? If so, on which routes? How did you find them? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.